All
All
right,
right.
here we are.
Hello. We are back. Welcome to Monkey Brain Podcast. Tonight, we're talking about The Ring. Maybe
Not Lord of the Rings,
not The Ring from the movies,
the Japanese
the
movie.
Japanese horror movies. We're talking about Elden Ring. But before we do, I actually do want to talk about The Ring, like the movie.
Okay.
That movie scared the Christ out of me. Um, my sister it's one of my sister's favorite all-time horror movies, and one time she left me alone to watch it. She left like 7-year-old Storm to watch The Ring by himself. And me, when she started crawling out the TV for the thing, uh, I turned my big CCTV, I turned it around towards the wall so that whenever she came out, she would bonk her head on the wall, and I felt like smart as crap. Okay.
I actually watched The Ring when I was in high school
Ooh.
with a bunch of friends because they did a movie night
Ooh.
at
It's a
my
very good movie to
school.
watch as a group.
And what's really funny is one of my friends was there, but this was before I was actually friends with them.
Mhm.
And like half the night they were making out with their boyfriend at the time. But this is before I knew either of them.
Oh.
And then like I actually meet them properly a couple months later and I become good friends.
Oh wow.
And then I remembered, oh hey, I saw you at that movie night making out with your boyfriend while the scary girl was coming off the TV.
She was coming to join,
Yeah.
as pertained of our previous conversation. Okay, so Dim Rings,
The Rings.
The Rings. What do you think about the game?
Well, I feel it's another Miyazaki game.
Of course.
Of course, it's another Miyazaki game. I'm a very big fan of the Soul series, and I've been a big fan of the Soul series since they were new. Like 2010, or no, it was 2011 when Dark Souls 1 came out. I didn't play Demon Souls because
2011 when Dark Souls 1 came out?
Yes.
I thought that was like in the 2000s.
No, 2009 is when Demon Souls came out.
What?
Yeah. The series is literally a little bit more than a decade old.
I thought it was way older. Oh
Mhm.
man.
No.
Well, at least that makes me feel like younger then, because I
Yeah.
thought it was way older. Wow. Do you think it's like a masterpiece, like everyone is saying?
I feel it is very close to a masterpiece. I think it is a masterclass in open world game design.
Because it's, think about it this way: Ubisoft, ever since Far Cry 3, has like changed what open world gaming is, like open world games are like.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't even know them as open world games. They know them as like Ubisoft style games because everyone tries to mimic their game design.
Because it's always, you go do this one thing, you get a reward. Go do the same thing, get another reward. But now what Ubisoft is doing is, have you played Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
No, I did not.
So
the most recent Ubisoft open world game I played was Far Cry 5.
You're tired.
I am very tired. Yes. I never had played a Far Cry game before, or like any of us.
But Far Cry 5 was nice.
Open world games before, and I decided to pick it up on a whim because I was just bored. I didn't really have anything else to play at the time.
Yeah.
And when was that? That
Far Cry 5?
2017?
Yeah, it's 2017, 2018.
Yeah, because I remember being bored when it came out, and I was like, I've never played Far Cry. This looks like it would be fun. And so I picked it up, and I didn't finish it because I got really bored, like about 10 hours in.
Because, okay, if you played Assassin's Creed, or at least Valhalla, because I watched Justin play it, what they do is they give you a small space out of the whole world, and they give you a ton of stuff to do. But it's the same 3 or 4 activities. One is like finding treasure, one is finding lore, one is like finding people to fight, and one is little like destinations that they want you to mark so you can and they open it up to you one land at a time, but you're doing the exact same thing over and over again.
not really an open world. No, well,
It's open world. You're free to do whatever you want. Once you find the map piece that lets you find that map, you can do what you want.
okay.
But do what you want is in the 4 activities that a Ubisoft has assigned you. The government assigned us the activities.
Government assigned activities.
But in Elden Ring, see, we wrapped it all the way back. Elden Ring, it's you go fight, you go fight, you go fight. Maybe you'll find something, but then you'll go fight something.
I feel like they really put the emphasis on exploration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very big fan of there being no quests,
Yeah,
no like quest UI, which I know is a complaint for some people, but I like that.
yeah. It gives a lot of freedom.
Um,
Forces you to explore.
the
It's super
game,
cool.
it feels like the game forces you to figure everything out on your own. And this is coming from a Souls
Veteran.
veteran that loves to dig through the wiki.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm bored, I will dig through the wiki and plan out new builds for myself.
I like looking at the lore.
Lore's very cool too. But I just like I love looking through like weapons. You know, weapons people don't use, weapons that like you've never seen in the game before because they're
I
hidden. And I love just like planning out.
have always been a giant fan of the art in the games.
I love the art.
The art in the game is masterclass. You know when you go to Raya Lucaria for the first time after killing Godric, and you like go down that path and it opens up in like a clearing,
Yeah.
and you see like the big magic castle in the middle of the.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. That was masterclass. That took my breath away. I love the art.
I don't know if you've ever done it before, but you can actually skip Stormvale Castle and get straight to there for Raya Lucaria. This isn't like a glitch. This is actually part of the game.
Oh.
There's a path that you can take to go around Stormvale Castle. That's north of the Stormvale Shack.
Huh.
On the map, it's a little bit secluded, so I wouldn't have expected you to notice. But if you're looking at the map, if you're paying attention to the map, you'll notice that there is a way around the right side of the castle.
That's fun.
And you can go into Raya Lucaria. I actually managed to do that by accident.
Oh wow!
My first playthrough, and I was like, "Oh, is this like a new area? Did I just find a secret?" Because it was this long it was this long like twisting, almost like half cave, half forest path, and I end up in the next section of the game, and I'm like, "Oh, this is pretty."
The underground city with the fake stars in the cave.
Nokron.
Nokron. That is amazing. You know, Miyazaki did all the art. He did all the character designs. The only thing George R. Martin did was the story. Yeah, but if you look at it, it's Game of Thrones.
Not exactly Game of Thrones. It is his style. It's a family feud, with some really interesting characters, let's say.
Have you seen really quick? You know Seth Tatch, of course. That YouTube.
Tatch, yes.
Did you see his from Storms of Ice and Fire quote that he put in the video?
The one where it was her defecating nonstop. Yes, I do remember.
The more she drank, the more, and I can't say the rest. But that's Martin.
Is an interesting fellow.
He's an interesting person.
The thing is, despite that being like a quote that you would think like, what the heck is this guy talking about? Is this dude like crazy? A lot of like famous writers will go into like really obscene detail with stuff like that. Like I'm a fairly big fan of Stephen King, and if you've ever read like The Stand, or like Under the Dome, not like the movies or like any kind of film adaptations, the actual books, there's a lot that gets left out that you really can't put on like
especially
film.
in It. Yeah, like in It, there's a scene where they're kids and they do adult thing, and they go into like crazy detail about the boys. And
but a lot of writers do that, and because it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's written in a way that it's almost like I'm probably going to be using the wrong. My English teacher would be very disappointed in me, but like, poetic irony where the characters are doing something they're enjoying very much so, but the reader is definitely not.
Yeah.
I feel like
Did you know?
it's not poetic irony. I feel like there's an actual term for it. I'm just forgetting it because it's been forever since I've taken an English class.
Trust me, I still can't do math. Even at
We're talking about English.
yeah. See, there you go. Speaking English about math. Anyways, did you know that the writer for Steven Universe, Rebecca Sugar, she had her entire start in cartoon making Ed, Ed and Eddie fanfics,
Yes, I did know that.
and they were not regular fanfics;
Oh,
they were
I
erotic
very much so know
fanfics.
that.
And she drew her own pictures for it too.
I've seen the images.
You've seen
It
them?
makes me uncomfortable to think about. That's a lot more cartoony flesh than I think I would have.
Ah!
Yeah.
Hmm. That's new actually. Diona College Radio. That's new.
That's new. That's new too. I didn't notice this.
I
patent
thought that was.
Was it? I don't remember it. Maybe I'm just not remembering things. But what was I gonna say? Back to Ringus.
Oh, I forgot about that.
John Elden and the Ringus.
John Elden
featuring
Ring.
George R. R. Martin's like dog. Speaking of dogs, if any of you played it, and you probably know about the bleed dog bug, because there are, well, in every Souls game, in every Miyazaki game, there are dogs as enemies. They're like rotten, they're like zombie dogs, whatever, it doesn't matter. And in Elden Ring, there's a couple different kinds of dogs depending on what location you're in.
Yeah.
And until the most recent patch,
Mhm.
the dogs that were found in like the swamp, the you okay?
Yeah. I'm fine. What do you?
Okay. The dogs that were found in the like
Mhm.
toxic swamp area, the rotten,
Mhm.
the Kalid.
Rotten dogs. Mhm.
Rot dogs, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
They were bugged, and one of their attacks, they would do, instead of hitting you once and taking damage, you would take damage for every frame the animation was active, and so it was calculated that you would take 11,000.
So you just get insta killed.
300 and some odd.
So you just get insta killed,
and it just shreds your health to 0 in the span of a blink of an eye.
They added pit bulls to Kaled.
Oh, crap. Well, I mean, you're not playing as an infant, so I don't know.
I mean, you're the size of an infant to him. Have you seen the size of those things?
Well, no, not the big ones. The dogs with like the red like pustules on their back.
Oh, I know you're talking about those. I'm saying they just added the regular pit bulls.
Oh yeah, there's also like, oh shit, we were redlining on the microphone thing.
We were redlining?
Yeah, probably that's why. Probably got too close for a second, but
that's fine.
What was I gonna say? There are these like giant dogs that have like giant heads, but like disproportionately
like T-Rexes.
Large body. They look like T-Rexes. There's also birds that look the same. That look like that as well. They're disproportionate and they are obnoxious.
I hate them.
They are so annoying.
I hate them
because they move so fast. And you know what they say: you may be fast, but the combine harvester's faster. And that's the bird is the combine harvester in this analogy.
You look like the fire giant boss.
I do not look like the fire giant boss.
You just need to have red hair.
My hair, yeah, but I would also need like dreadlocks and like a face on my chest.
Would you want a face in your chest that could spit fire?
No, I would like my own face to spit fire. I think that's
you don't want to like. If one day you get to like a horrific accident and you like break your leg, and you can just rip it off, and then you could say, "I sacrifice it to you, Jesus Christ," and then he gives you the ability to like open up your chest cavity to shoot like holy rays of light. Would you not do that?
I don't know. That's a bit of an interesting prospect for you.
Because if no one's played Elden Ring, that happens in the game.
Yeah, there's a boss where their leg is injured. It's a giant, it's a straight up giant, about, I would say probably 3 stories tall, maybe more. and its leg is injured, and the whole thing in the fight is
He rips it off.
Literally, you have to break his leg in half,
And it's like realistic too.
and then he rips his broken leg off, burns it, and then like this eye on his chest opens, and he's also got a mouth on his chest, and he like reaches into it to like rip fire out of it.
What do you think that's like to be able to just reach into your body like that?
I mean, if it's like a biological feature of yourself, I feel like you'd be used to it.
No, I mean, like, what if you saw like a fat guy just walking down the street? He eats his McDonald's burger. He says, I think I want that again. And he just reaches into his like belly button all the way in. He's just like sloshing, just pulls out a fresh Big Mac.
That sounds like something that would have happened in an anime. like a vampire like reaches into them, where they rip their own organs out. Sounds like an anime kind of. Or Homer. I feel like Homer would have done that at least once. Homie. I'm not going to do the voice right now because I'm exhausted.
Homer. I mean, one time his head was turned into a donut.
Wasn't that part of one of the Tree Houses is a horror?
Tree Houses is a horror, yeah. Flanders was Satan, and he turned Homer's head into a donut. He kept eating it.
Delightful.
What do you think about the Dung Eater?
Oh, the Dung Eater.
The ferocious number 2 nibbler.
The crazed caca consumer. He is a funnier character than we've ever had.
he's a fun only because of his name. He's funny.
Well, I believe the reason why he has that name is because he was such a vile individual that people just like called him that, and he just decided, I'm gonna go by this nickname. He has nothing to do with the consumption of feces as his backstory. It's just he's a really like
bad person.
He's a bad person because what he does is he kills someone, and then he like violates their corpse with like a curse.
Oh.
And it like grows on the corpse, and it like because of how the laws of physics work in the lands between. Fun fact, actually, before I continue, the Golden Order is quite literally like science.
Oh, what?
It's not like. So the Golden Order is effectively people trying to calculate like the laws of the world. And it's effectively like equal parts faith and equal parts science, which is why all of the Golden Order spells require both int and faith to cast. Meanwhile, sorceries are actually a study of the stars. Well, Carrion, I want to say Carrion sorceries are, and the other school of sorcery is more of like a usage of glintstones, which are like energy stones charged with energy that they mine into the ground.
I like the look of the wizards in this game. They have big stone heads, and it's really cool. It's a really nice little take on wizards because we're so used to the big hat dudes or like the cloaked heads. These guys have big, funny stone heads of screaming people. Imagine if scientists had to wear like big masks of Einstein or like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, it's funny.
Would that count as blackface?
Wearing a Neil deGrasse Tyson like carved stone head? I don't know.
If you were a white scientist and we live in a different world where you have to wear the head of like your top scientist to ever exist, and a white dude had to wear a Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, it's like a stone carving. It's not like they're painting their.
Okay, but it's granite.
Yeah, well, granite's like light gray.
It's obsidian.
I feel like there's a difference between wearing the visage and pretending to be the race of who it is.
Bill Nye. Is he a accomplished scientist or he's just like a TV personality?
Bill Nye doesn't even have a degree.
What?
No, yes, he does. He doesn't have. He has a degree in. I want to say it's engineering.
What?
And he actually isn't qualified to talk about a lot of the things he actually does talk about.
Whoa, that's new to me.
Yeah, Bill Nye was just more of a personality than anything. He was a scientist, but he was a scientist of engineering,
Bill Nye the
not
fraud.
biology, not chemistry, not mathematics.
Do you think if one day Bill Nye commits a crime heinous enough so that everyone hates him like to the core and he's given the death penalty? And he goes, Bill Nye the science guy, kill, 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 kill. Oh, oh, that was a funny one. We should make that a YouTube video. He committed a crime. Oh, that's good. Okay.
I'm just not. I'm a bit nonplussed at that, but it was funny.
Nonplussed? I don't know that terminology.
Like no
Input.
emotional response.
Oh,
Just like neutral on it. It was funny.
well, you.
I'm also very tired, as you know.
As he yawns.
This is a yawn.
I was gonna say something. I have something in my head. Bill Nye the Science Guy, kill, kill, kill.
What are your thoughts on the fact that sorceries and they're not miracles anymore, they're incantations. What are your thoughts on how they've made them, well, not really made them, but changed them to the point where there are so many of them and they all have so many different uses now, and the fact that they have effectively made it so literally everything in the game is viable.
I like that.
You could do a bow only run pretty damn easily compared to in like Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3, where bows would do change for damage.
I like that because now we have regular wizards and then we have faith, which will be like sorcerers, I guess, and then like arcane, which would be like, what would they count as?
Arcane is more like,
or would they be sorcerers?
Well, you can infuse weapons with occult, which makes their damage scale off your arcane stat.
Oh, okay.
And so I feel like they would. It's like
so yeah, they have the sorcerer.
Arcane's like the occult.
So then that would mean, oh yeah, faith is just a priest.
Like warlocks.
Yeah, faith is just like a priest. I think it's really cool because now it's like alternative magic that people can use. I'm running a magic faith, arcane faith build.
Because you could be a sorcerer. You could be of like. You could be like if you want to stick to like different schools of sorcery, different schools of faith spells, you really can, because there's the fire, there's the flame monk spells where things like fire, there's the dragon cult stuff, which is all like lightning, there's the Godslayer stuff, which is all like black flame.
Yeah, I have a couple of those. I found the Godskin
Those are very cool. There's the Golden Order stuff, which is all like, it's like holy light. There's what else? There's the madness. There's the frenzied flame stuff, which is all like madness.
How would you feel about one day you meet these two dudes who just have like actual skin on their body, like human skin?
They're wearing like stitched together skin.
They're wearing stitched together skin, and they tell you, child, join our cult, and you shall arise to the power of a god.
I would say, hey buddy, Texas Chainsaw Massacre showing is 2 blocks down.
Oh, we were late for that again. Damn it.
I would be intrigued, but it seems like that kind of thing where if you're like interested and you're like, oh, maybe I'll go along with it, you'll get stuck in it just for being like interested in seeing what it is. Like if you see what it is, you're like stuck with that, arcane knowledge for the rest of your life.
So like Lovecraftian.
Yeah, like if you see it, you're like, you cannot comprehend Immortal.
Well, there you go.
something.
Good transition to Bloodborne. We were talking about that last time we were in front of here because we had missed the podcast, or it's a podcast or a radio show. We talked about what a what it would be like to ascend to a higher plane and not be able to comprehend like what a being above us would be like. Tom was really good at explaining that. It was really interesting.
I was talking about dimensions, dimension theory, which is part of young quantum theory, where it's a theory where it's not like dimensions as in like, oh yeah, in this dimension I have black hair. That's more of like an alternate universe kind of thing. Dimensions are like physical space
Oh,
where we have three dimensions, X, Y, and Z, the axes. And if you've ever done any kind of research into geometry, you'll probably have seen a hypercube at least once, which is a theoretical fourth dimensional object. So imagine a world or a universe that has four physical dimensions. You really can't picture that in your head because we, as third dimensional beings, can't really comprehend where a fourth dimension would lie because we have zero capability of even picturing that.
what about the Mandela effect we were talking about?
We were talking about the Mandela effect last night. Yeah,
Do you remember Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia?
I do remember Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia. I vividly remember Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia.
Okay. Do you remember what was the other examples we came up with?
Pikachu. Did Pikachu have a black tip on its tail? It did not.
For me, he always has. He always had a black tip.
I don't remember. I remember it having just pure yellow.
I remember it being a black tip. Did it always have a black tip? No.
No, never.
What?
Never.
What?
Pikachu always had a plain yellow tail. Even the female one, which had the different shaped tail.
No, that had a.
The heart on the female Pikachu's.
Okay, that's a new one.
Still yellow.
I'm trying to think of another one that's in FedEx, which is the purple, which is the orange?
Fed is purple, X is orange. No?
Fed is orange, X is purple.
Are you sure about that?
Are we Mandelaing?
Oh my god. Yeah, I think we're jumping around a little too much.
Yeah, that happens. That's why it's called monkey brain, because we can't really stay on one topic.
My brain is currently extra monkey because I am very tired.
Extra monkey.
Extra monkey. Okay, so
We should bring in a legal chimp here. Just steal him from the zoo and just put him in that chair and see what happens.
You should bring in an orangutan because those are cool dudes.
Yeah. I love orangutans.
They're the sweetest, calmest, like wisest monkey.
Yeah.
Even the little babies are like
Funny.
gentle and kind and sweet and funny and monkey. But back on the topic at hand. So a lot of the lore of Elden Ring is kind of messed up. Really messed up.
Isn't it like the whole point is that it's supposed to be up for interpretation and then we have to paste it all together ourselves?
Some of it's for interpretation. A lot of the stuff Miyazaki does is up for interpretation because there's a lot that they leave out, and especially stuff with like Dark Souls 3 with what's it called, the Untended Graves, which is after you fight Osiros, the dragon.
Oh, that guy.
With the invisible baby, which there's lore behind that. You end up finding there's an invisible wall in the area after the boss fight. And if you go through there's a complete mirrored version of Firelink Shrine, except it's shrouded in darkness.
Oh.
All the NPCs are there, save for Andre. And you can talk to them, and they all have something interesting. They all have something different to say. They all have very interesting voice lines, and it's implied that This is because Asaros was originally a person that was so obsessed
With the dragons.
with the dragons,
They became one.
and he became one so that he could survive. Because we believe that he became obsessed with the dragons because he saw into the future and saw the Age of Dark, which is what the Untended Graves is. It is his vision of Firelink Shrine in the Age of Dark. And so he wanted to become a dragon so that he could survive in the Age of Dark. Because the dragons come from from before the
Yeah,
Age
they're
of Fire,
Age of
and
Grey.
before the Age of Fire. The world was still in darkness. That's a whole bit of Dark Souls lore to talk about, because part of the lore of the game is alternating ages of fire and dark, which people try to either stop the cycle or continue the cycle, but
Yeah, that's the whole.
it never, it's futile. Their efforts are futile no matter what. It's always going to continue.
That's the whole point of the
And-
games. Even Elden Ring's like that.
No, not necessarily.
Marika didn't want to die, so she destroyed Death and Death.
Well, that's something different. Elden, the Ages of Fire is the age of gods, the age of the world controlled by gods. Age of Darkness is the age controlled by humanity. And the reason why the gods don't want the Age of Fire to end, the reason why the entire point of the game is you're trying to link the fires, because the gods are trying to trick you into continuing the Age of Fire so they can still have a last little bit of control left over the world.
So then the Age of Dark isn't even that bad.
No, the Age of Dark is the age of humanity.
As in
The
it's
Age of
not
the
actually.
Abyss.
As in it's not actually dark, or
No, it is very dark,
so then why is it the Age of Humans?
because humans were born of the dark soul.
Oh, so what, they're just chilling out now?
And we don't know, really. It's unknown, because we don't really have any glimpses into the Age of Dark, save for the opening cutscene of Dark Souls 1 and the Untended Graves in Dark Souls 3.
Oh.
But Elden Ring, what's interesting to me is the ring, the Elden Ring, is what effectively controls the order of the world, basically the physics of the world. That's what the Golden Order was about. They were literally trying to calculate the laws of the physics effectively, using what they knew about the Elden Ring.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and that was Radigan. Radigan's Golden Order. He's
a ginger.
Unfortunately.
And that's why I killed him.
I'm not and the reason why the Elden Ring was shattered, it's all stuff involving influence from Outer God. Well, first of all, if you've played the game, you've probably heard references to the Outer Gods once or twice. And the Outer Gods were gods from outside the sphere of influence of the Elden Ring, where there were the inner gods, which were the ones we hear about in game.
Yeah.
And the Scarlet Rot, from what we know, was a gift bestowed upon Millennia by an outer god.
Speaking of Millennia, you heard that her fight's gotten harder?
What do you mean?
They patched something in the game, and it caused the unintended effect of her healing unwarrantedly.
They fixed that.
Oh, they fixed that?
They fixed that in the most recent patch in 1.4.1.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully.
All right. We're a little bit over time. We'll be back, hopefully.
Momentarily.
We'll see you guys. Wrong button. Goodbye.